of November 17th, 2020, 7 p.m. This is an electronic meeting in compliance with the Open Meetings Act. Notice this meeting will be held electronically. It's authorized under the Open Meetings Act, Public Act 267 of 1976 as amended. Members of the public body and members of the public may participate electronically as described by our website and physical postings at the Township Hall. Thank you very much for meeting. I would like to call to order at 7:01 and like to do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Alec, can you put up the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, can you do roll call, please?
Mr. Ruggles? Mr. Ruggles? Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees?
Present.
Liz Smith?
Here.
Mr. Roman?
Here.
Lily's here. Mr. Colwell?
Here. All present and accounted for. I'd like for a motion to approval of the agenda. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of one item, 11D. And that item, I'm going to talk to the board about the purchase of computers and also the elimination of the executive session.
Thank you. I have a motion looking for support.
Andrea will support that.
Thank you. Andrea supports. We will have a roll call vote, please.
Liz Smith?
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees?
Yes.
Mike Powell?
Yes.
Ruggles? For some reason, Mr. Ruggles,
Muted, Scott.
We cannot hear you.
just raise your hand, Scott. Thank you. Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Lilly votes yes. Mr. Colwell?
Yes. Thank you. Item number 5, public comment. At this time, due to electronic meetings, anyone has any comment they would like to make that's in the wings, you'll use the Alex, they'll use the *9 if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yes.
And they'll come forward. Alex, you will monitor that. We will now open comment. You have 3 minutes to state what it is on your mind. And we will go from there. So Alex, do we have any hands up?
Callers, press *9 if you would like to comment. And at the moment, I do not see one.
Give it another minute, couple seconds.
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, we got you.
Yeah, I have a proclamation from myself, state representative, the governor and lieutenant governor. Is this the appropriate time or is there?
That'll
this
come under
something that we later?
presentations, Jim. I'll call you out. Okay.
Thank you.
So Rick, no hands have been raised.
At this time, I will close public comment. Public comment is now closed. We are moving to the consent agenda. Mr. Clerk.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda, sir.
I have motion looking for support.
Andrea will support that.
Andrea Voorhees does support. Roll call vote, please.
Andrea Voorhees?
Yes.
Liz Smith?
Yes.
Mike Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Ruggles? Mike?
Okay.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Lilly votes yes. Mr. Colwell?
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries. Item number 7, minutes. We're going to approve both meetings A and B. Approval of the minutes of the special board meeting of October 20th, 2020.
Mr.
And
Supervisor,
approval of minutes of the regular board meeting of October 20th, 2020. Mr. Powell.
Maybe before we approve both of those, I've got a couple of corrections, if I could, please.
Absolutely. I would anticipate that you would have. I would
Sorry
be
about that.
disappointed if you didn't, Mike.
All right. So on page 7, the third paragraph down on page 7,
Which is this, A or B?
I'm sorry, this is B. In the third paragraph, second line, it says under supervisor, and now she can be counted on by the supervisor. And then it says, he noted that a department head. That should just be, he noted that a department head was not set up under Clerk Lilly.
Absolutely.
And then maybe I'm really wrong, but the motion under the resolution where it was moved by Clerk Lilly, supported by Trustee Powell to approve the nope, I'm sorry, that's not the one. It's the one just above that. It was moved by Clerk Lilly, supported by Treasurer Roman to put the Human Resource Office and create its own department head. I believe that motion failed, not passed. And it says passed there, but everybody voted no except for Mr. Lilly.
Correct. Well, it's kind of oddly worded. Oh, that is on page.
Page 7. The first dark motion there. And if it hadn't been supported, then we would have an entirely new department, Human Resource Office department with a department head. But it failed, so it stayed under the supervisor.
Correct. It says co-op supervisor clarified that a yes vote would create its own department and no vote would keep it under supervisor's department. And it went no.
But it says passed.
And it passed as a no, but it was denied. You are correct.
But the motion is written in the affirmative.
That is you are correct. That is odd.
Okay. So then on page 11, quickly here, if I can, paragraph 4, under Ms. Smith, line number 1, I believe, and she can speak, Trustee Smith can speak for herself, but Trustee Smith does not think that it is fair that the resident was notified that this was on the agenda. I think her statement was, it is not fair that the resident was not notified.
I believe you're correct.
Correct.
And then on page 12, 6th paragraph, the one starting with Jason Hudson, line 4, in the middle of that line, it says there has been 0 by Mr. Brendel. I think that should be, there has been 0 attempt by Mr. Brendel, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe you're correct there.
And then on line 14, page 14, third paragraph down, that's Trustee Powell, second line. It starts with concern that after the board agreed, the school system decided that the school system didn't decide that the board, the school system decided that they now do not agree. So that we should be the they. And that's all of them that I caught, Mr. Supervisor.
That's very, very thorough of you, Michael.
Thank you, Mike.
As usual. Any other comments from any of the board members? I don't have everyone on the same screen today for some peculiar reason, so you will have to speak up. Normally you can raise your hand, but for some reason, I do not have all of you on the same screen.
So, Mr. Supervisor, I move approval of the minutes of the special board meeting of October 20th, 2020, and approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of October 20 as amended. And this is Mike Powell.
We have a motion by Mike Powell to approve minutes of both meetings. Looking for support?
Support.
Mr. Mike Roman, roll call vote, please.
Liz Smith,
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees,
Yes.
Mike Powell,
Yes.
Scott Ruggles,
Yes, if you can hear me.
I
Yes.
hear you now.
Okay, good.
Mike Roman,
Yes.
Mr. Lilly votes yes. Mr. Kowal?
Yes. Motion carries on A and B. Thank you very much. Next on presentation, citizen recognition. We're very fortunate that we have a community that is pretty binded. And one of the things that I like to see, and I know that Mr. Potter, who is going to take the lead on this, likes to see, is the next generation or the youth of our community get involved in things. And with that, I will pass this off to Mr. Potter, and Mr. Aaron Potter, our DPS director. Aaron?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So back in the summertime, right around midsummer, I had the pleasure of being contacted by Drew Johnson. Now, Drew at the time was getting to write his Eagle Scout project in an attempt to get his Eagle Scout designation or rank, I guess. And he had an idea of doing a hydrant painting project for his neighborhood. I immediately thought this was outstanding. Hydrant painting is not easy work. I contacted Drew immediately. We worked through the late part of the summer to get his project approved. We did supply some materials and prep the hydrants for them with some of our equipment. Now, Drew and his family and a couple of his other scouts painted, I believe, 23 hydrants in the Bluffs and Williams Lake Crossing and the Bluffs 2 neighborhoods. And so with that, I would like to, I'm going to show this to everybody because normally we would do this in our town hall. We've created this presentation for you, Drew, and I'm just going to go ahead and read this off. This says, special tribute. Let it be known that it is a genuine privilege to thank Boy Scout Drew Johnson from Troop 113 for volunteering and organizing a fire hydrant painting project in White Lake Township. Drew, as he works towards earning his Eagle Scout, reached out to DPS Director Aaron Potter and volunteered to paint hydrants as part of a community improvement project. On Saturday, September 26, 2020, Drew Johnson gathered 2 fellow scouts, family members, and painted 23 hydrants in the Williams Lake Crossing, Bluffs, and Bluffs 2 neighborhoods. With the completion of this project, Drew not only saved township funds, but he helped improve the community of White Lake. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to thank Drew Johnson for an outstanding job organizing and completing the fire hydrant painting project for his neighborhood. On behalf of the entire community of White Lake, we thank Drew Johnson for his contribution. This is signed by Rick Kowal, Township Supervisor, Terry Lilly, Township Clerk, and Mike Roman, Township Treasurer. Drew, I just want to say again, thank you from everybody at White Lake Township. Outstanding job. You're an outstanding young man. I can't wait to work with you again in the future.
Thank you so much, Drew.
Thank you, Drew.
Drew, you're the man. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll connect up in the next few days and make sure that, you know, you get this and get a chance to meet Mr. Supervisor and make sure that you get your hands on this presentation.
And then Drew, one of the things that I'd like to do to you, the exclusive thing that we have here at the township is that I would like to, when hopefully, and it will be, we'll get this COVID business behind us. What I'd like to do is invite you to spend a day with Mr. Aaron Potter and tour the facilities of the township and get to understand the infrastructure that's behind the hydrants that you worked on. You saw the end result, but you don't know all the mechanics behind it. And Mr. Potter is extremely proud parent of this water system. So I'm going to invite you, and you never know, might even get yourself up in a high spot. We'll see how that works. So again, I'd like to thank you very much for your participation in the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
Okay, moving on. Item number 2, tribute to Terry Lilly. Who's he? Okay, Terry,
I'm here.
this is your moment in the sun. One of the things I'll say that For the board members that were able to make it to a meet and greet that we had, a small gathering that we had on Monday on Terry's behalf, the township awarded him the distinguished medallion of the town for his service to the community for many, many years. And we will sorely miss him. We do have a presentation that comes from a higher level, and that would be our good Senator, Mr. Jim Runstead. Jim, are you there?
I am, Rick. Really pleased to have this opportunity to honor Terry's incredible service over all these many decades. I remember one of the first times I ever met Terry, it was after a tremendous windstorm. It was almost like in fact, I think a tornado did touch down, and he was handing out water to people in the community. And that's just the kind of service that he has provided to White Lake. So I have this special tribute, which I will show the camera since we don't have the opportunity to do this in person. And this is signed by myself, Matt Maddock, the state representative, Garland Gilchrist, the lieutenant governor, and Gretchen Whitmer, the governor. And the proclamation reads, "Let it be known that it is with great pleasure we extend this legislative tribute as an expression of our thanks and best wishes to Terry Lilly upon the occasion of his retirement. This tribute recognizes the professionalism and commitment to excellence he has exhibited throughout his career and the lasting positive impact he has had on the people and the community of White Lake. Terry has a long-standing history with White Lake, greatly contributing to the township's development. His municipal experience began in 1967 as an on-call firefighter, and he was later elected as trustee in 1980. A licensed builder by trade, Terry worked as a building inspector into the 80s and took an active role in the renovations of the municipal hall in the early 1990s. He could often be found remodeling town hall on weekends and after business hours. In addition, Terry changed many lives through his work at Camp Mark, meaningful work for confined women. Terry led White Lake 2000 and planned to create a vision for White Lake's identity. He also served as supervisor, and his efforts were recognized on many occasions, earning the Hometown Leadership Award for Supervisors from the Michigan Township Association. In 2008, Terry was elected clerk, and he took on an active approach in learning the duties and responsibilities of the position. Terry, a member of the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks, obtained a certified municipal clerk credential in 2011 and a master municipal clerk credential in 2020. He modernized many township operations, and such as the implementing of the digital imaging of township community records, as well as introducing electronic poll books in every election precinct. His passion for community extends to his duties beyond clerk, evident in his work as the township board liaison to the senior advisory committee, the restoration center and veterans memorial, and his hands-on development of the new ballpark at Hidden Pines. Terry is happily married to his wife Donna, and together they have raised 5 children and have been blessed with 10 grandchildren. Terry is an outstanding public servant, and his knowledge and work ethic has positioned White Lake for future success. So a special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to honor Terry Lilly, clerk for White Lake Township, as he celebrates a lifetime of public service, admiration, and warmest wishes for continued success in every endeavor. Congratulations, Terry. You deserve it.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Senator. Thank you very, very much. We certainly appreciate that. And Terry, I am going to turn the floor over to you for a few minutes. I know you have a few things that you would like to say. So Terry, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Just so everybody knows, at the moment, my screen is black, so we're able to see everybody. But I'd like to everyone to know that my first involvement with White Lake Township was spending 18 and a half years as an on-call firefighter. To those members, both past and present, you are a great bunch of true professionals and thank you for allowing me to be part of your organization. Your friendships and relationships are very important, which I will never forget. Teamwork. From the very beginning, my involvement has not been about me. It's been about you, the citizens of Whately Township, family, friendships, township board, and all the township employees, including police and fire. Has always been the name of the game. I remember my second election as township supervisor. My first call to duty was to plunge the ladies' toilet. My instincts over the next several months began to kick in. Toilet problems, old wrinkled carpeting for people to trip on, no counter space, and vacant space as the fire department has moved across the street. I could go on and on. So what was the former builder to do? Over the period of a year and a half, over 100 volunteers joined with me to remodel the old fire bays, new supervisor's office, assessing department, planning and water and sewer departments, including 2 new bathrooms. The whole purpose was to provide our employees with a proper working environment and to work efficiently in making the best use of their time. Again, teamwork. I would ask that you please visit the plaque at the end of the hallway by the accounting department, and please read their names and give them. I was part of an awesome team to initiate the first phase of our township sewer plan. Head of Oakland County Drain Commission and staff, township financial advisor, township engineering, bonding council, township board of Commerce Township, as well as my own township board. This group of professionals worked for 3.5 years to secure $10 million of state revolving fund financing. Again, teamwork. Please visit the plaque in the water and sewer department. Former township treasurer, in partnering with me, including a local builder and excavator and fencing contractor to make 2 ball fields a reality, all for the youth and ball players in this area. Again, teamwork. To my former and present board members, your dedication, your hard work, and your caring about this community, you have protected the taxpayers and citizens' money, and by doing so, have continually maintained a significant fund equity, paying additional funding towards healthcare and pension obligations, and receiving an unqualified audit opinion before and during my time as township clerk. Again, working. F. Not saying enough words about your dedication to teamwork, your friendship, and the devotion to overcoming any obstacles being given to you. You have been like family to me over the past 12 years and make them most rewarding. Again, more teamwork. For all of you that I have not mentioned, I thank you for helping me. Be the person I have become. Through good times and bad, we have made the best of our time. And I will always remember. Closing, I never thought I would see the day that I would retire. I have enjoyed both political life and life as a builder and remodeler. Now it's time to spend my time with my wife, children, and grandchildren, who now deserve. God bless all of my friends that I have mentioned, and best wishes to the new clerk and his staff. Thanks.
Thank you, Terry. Love to hear from you. And again, thank you so much for so many years of service.
Thanks
Thank you.
again.
Thank you, Terry. We love you.
You're there?
Love you, big guy.
Okay, thank you.
We're still have you here. We thought we were going to have you for a little bit longer here earlier today with all the craziness going down at the county. But, you know, such as it is, the change of the guard will take place at noon on Friday. So thank you very, very much, Terry, and a very tribute to you. Next item is item number 9, public
Mr.
hearing.
Supervisor,
Yes.
before we continue, Alex, thank you for coming back on. Is there any chance that we can be rearranged where the board can see each other?
So that should be on your end. Sometimes you got to increase the size of your browser or your window. But if you go into the top right, it should say speaker view. So that should show everybody that's there.
We just have a lot of residents joining us, and normally it's just the board on the video and residents on the telephone. I assume they want to join for public hearing, and then
Sure.
maybe they can go back to the phones so that we can see each other.
Sure. So after the public hearing, I can put them back into our waiting room, and that way there will be much less people on our screens here.
That would be
Thank you.
great.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Sure,
But
yeah.
Alex, if you put people in the waiting room, then they can't watch the meeting?
Correct. They'll have to go to YouTube, and it's about 30 seconds later.
Okay.
Yeah, I think for today, since it's been set up the way it has, maybe if we can just stick it out for today, and then Alex, next time we would return to the way it's been done in the past, assuming we don't have any issues today. I'm sorry, Liz. I think one of the reasons, and Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the reasons they tell us to get on at 6:30 is because it's by order. Is that true?
No, it has to do kind of more with, like, you see how someone just kind of left there and then it's sort of repopulated. It prioritizes people with video first, but then like everybody that doesn't have their video on is down below.
Okay.
So,
It's
but
okay.
yes, I
It just
apologize
makes
for
it
this problem.
hard for Mr. Supervisor to be able to see us and call on us, but we'll get through it. Thank you.
Thanks, Liz. Sorry.
Yes, my apologies. Thanks.
We'll get through it. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to go on to item number 9A, which is a public hearing to confirm the assessment roll for the Bogey Lake North Sewer Main Special Assessment District, Tony Meisel's favorite pet project. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
We'll remind the board that when we do go into public comment, that there is to be no comment from the board at that time. Conversation from the board will take place after the public comment. So at this time, I would like to make a motion to go into the hearing to confirm the assessment roll for the Bogey Lake North Sewer Main Special Assessment District. I am making for support. I have support from Mr. Terry Lilly. Roll call vote, please.
Liz Smith,
Yes.
Andrea Boyd,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggles,
Yes.
Mr. Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Roman,
That's a yes.
Mr. Lilly votes yes. Mr. Colwell?
Yes. At this time, we will be looking for a public comment pertaining to the special assessment roll for the Bogey Lake North Sewer Main Special Assessment District. Some people know it as the Pinecrest subdivision. There is the resolution and assessment district is on file at the township and website and may be reviewed at this time. At this time, Mr. Lilly, did you have something to say?
Mr. Colwell, just for the public hearing record, I have a 4-page letter from Mr. Eric Proven. And Mr. Proven is voicing his objection to the sewer project. That'd be part of the record on the public hearing.
Duly noted. He is an objection to it. It'll be noted for the file. Ms. Amami?
Sorry that I'm going to make this a little bit longer, but you should, unless all the board members have had an opportunity to read that letter, it probably should be read into the record.
Mr. Lilly?
Okay.
Sorry.
may concern. Eric Provins responding to this letter would like to know how you can force people to pay for something that they don't need at all. This is a free country. I should be able to spend my money on you people all for one thing. I'm retired on a fixed income. I have no plans on spending money on for sewers at all. I do not need them. No one will help me pay for my engineered septic system when I had to put one in. Why should I have to pay to fix someone else's septic field? They bought the house. They knew they were in for, and that they knew that they were in for. That's a problem, not mine, period at all. We can pay for it if you want to put sewers in. I sure the hell don't need them. All I don't need, my taxes going up. Also, they can price of the project, bring line down and to have people pay to hook up with the cost included in the price. Bring the line down for sewers who want it. That's how it should be done. Not everybody paying or want already pay way too much in taxes. By far, just another way for people to increase by far. Also, this property is not part of Pinecrest Association. Either I am opting out, just like the people did on Sugden Road. I do not want or need sewers on my property unless they want to pay for my engineered septic system, just like I am paying to fix everyone else's septic field. Utterly ridiculous. If you people think I'm paying to upgrade their house, there is no way. This is a joke. They bought the house. They knew ahead of time. You pay to maintain your own house yourself. Not paying to fix their problem at all. That's just part of this problem. Insurance, many other problems associated with sewer. My home, for one thing. For starters, I do not want sewers, period. I can't afford them for starters. I'm not part of this association. This property is separate from Pinecrest. I don't need sewers, period. I am opting out just like people on Sugden. I want sewers. They can pay for them with the people that want them, not the people who don't want them. This is a joke that you think you can make people pay for something they do not want or need. I'm not paying for any sewers at all. Don't need at all, period. Eric Provins at 1228 Pinecrest Drive, White Lake. Not part of this association at all. Property not signed on 11.
Very good. Thank you. Do you have any other correspondences?
I have none, Rick.
Okay. Okay, continuing on. At this time, if there is someone in the public that would like to speak, raise your hand or hit the *9. You are on the phone. Alex, I'm going to let you kind of monitor.
Okay, great. So far, I don't see anything. Members of the public, if you're on our Zoom call, just make sure to activate your audio and your video so that we can see you and hear you. Let me give it a few seconds here to make sure. Oh, I see Ted and Julie are raising their hands there. So go ahead and unmute for us, and it'll be your turn to speak. And you have to state your name and your address for the record, please.
My name is Julie Cable, and my address is 11217 Sugden Lake Road, White Lake 48386. And I just wanted to confirm, I had 2 parcels that I combined. White Lake Township approved them. I have 2 Sidwell numbers that were on our original letter that the special assessment was going forward with. My Sidwell numbers of Y1233276 050 and 051 are approved by White Lake to a new Sidwell number of 1233276 I just want to confirm that I will be billed for one single Sidwell now.
This is, at this point in time, this is public comment, so that would be an inquiry you will need to make to the assessing department, but you are in good ground. This is not the format for that. This is strictly public comment on that. So, but you make an inquiry to the assessing department, but from what I'm hearing from you, you're on good ground.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So we have one caller that's ending in 3142. To make sure to hit *6 to unmute and state your name and your address for the record, please. So we got you now. 3142. Yep, go ahead.
Okay, this is on behalf of Patricia Schultz, 1065 Pinecrest Drive, White Lake, 48386. And is this actually where you're deciding whether you're putting it in? This already final?
This is public comment. So we are moving forward with this, but this is just an only public comment. It's not a format to answer questions. It's strictly public comment. If you have questions, you can address those questions to the assessing department or the water DPS department. This is strictly public comment.
Hey,
Okay, and who,
Rick.
Yes,
when does
Lisa.
it go?
This is actually the public hearing. This is the opportunity to object to the roll, because the next step would be a resolution confirming the roll. And if they don't object at this hearing, they would have no opportunity to appeal. So it is appropriate for them to explain their objection. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make it's different than just public comment at a regular meeting.
Explain their objection, but we will not respond to it. So that's what this is about. So if you have an objection, explain.
I would do. I would like to object to this. It's extremely expensive for people that don't need it. Or want it. So is there going to be a vote on this, or is that already happened?
The roll is being put together right now. You have the right to object, which will take you to the right to appeal this if you like, I think, further. But right now, again, we at this moment in time are playing forward.
Okay, well, I object. Please
Mr.
record
Potter,
that.
just a moment, Mr. Potter, one moment. Okay, have you stated your case, dear?
Yes, I object.
Okay.
It's unnecessary for all of us.
Okay. Is there anyone else from the public that has public?
There are no more callers waiting.
At this moment in time, I make a motion to close the public hearing, looking for support.
Support.
I have support from Scott Ruggles, I believe. Roll call vote.
Liz Smith? Liz?
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees?
Yes.
Scott Ruggles?
Yes.
Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Lilly votes yes. Mr. Colwell?
Yes, motion carries. Public hearing is now closed. Item 10, resolution number 20-39, resolution confirming the Bogey Lake North Sewer Main Improvement Special Assessment. Mr. Potter, you have any comment at this time?
No, I just wanted to jump in and comment on the public hearing. The vote is already taken place by petition. And I just wanted to make it understood that we're not going to be voting again on it tonight. It's already happened.
Very good, Mr. Potter. Janine, do you have anything to add?
Unless you have questions, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, board members, any questions at this time? Okay, moving on.
Scott Ruggles.
Sorry, Mr. Ruggles, I do not.
Yeah, I was just going to make the motion to approve the resolution 20-039.
Actually, before you make the motion, Scott, Janine, can you explain on the question of one of the residents about the 2 parcel IDs? Are they only being assessed once?
Yes, they're only assessed once. If they had looked at the roll, they would have known that, but yes.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure, because that was the only challenge to the the role that I heard. And so I just wanted some clarification on that. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Counselor. Okay, thank you, Janine. Mr. Roman.
Just also want to confirm, Janine, so the roll does list both lots, but only one is being charged, and is
Yes,
that the?
That's correct, and that's because the new parcel number won't be active until next year.
Doesn't happen until after the end of the year. So you can't get parcel ID from the county. Okay, Mr. Ruggles, please proceed.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 20-039.
We have a motion. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. We have motion support from Mr. Powell.
Yes, and comments?
Please do.
All right, thank you. As the board knows, I deal with special assessment districts all the time, and Mr. Popon and a couple of the residents had some issues regarding they didn't believe that it was needed. Septic systems are temporary in best case scenario, and even if you put a brand new septic in, eventually that septic system is going to fail, and the requirements of the health department are so stringent now, the costs have gone exorbitant to replace those septic systems. When you go to sell your home, the existence of a sanitary sewer in front of your home will greatly improve not only the market value, but the sales of a home, because the proposed purchaser will know that they have the opportunity to add on to their home, improve it, modify it without the imposition of a septic field on site. So it's not unlike this gentleman is undoubtedly retired and on fixed income. He does not use the schools, and he would conclude the same thing, that the schools are unfair because he doesn't use them. He may never drive, but the roads are part of the taxes, and he uses those. And so the law gives the township the ability to spread the cost of a sanitary sewer over everyone that either will or potentially will utilize that sanitary sewer. And so he may think it's unfair, and some residents may think it's unfair, but it is extremely fair. They don't have to hook up yet, but if only half the people had to pay for the sewer, the township would never, ever have sanitary sewers extended in the township. That's the reason the law is put into place, and it allows us to spread that cost over 10 years. So I certainly empathize with the homeowners that they don't believe they need it, but it is absolutely essential in White Lake Township that we extend sanitary sewers. And I know I designed engineered septic systems for a living, and I am more than willing to accept sanitary sewers to be extended. It's the right thing for White Lake Township. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. Okay, we have motion, we have support. Roll call vote, please.
Hey, Rick,
Yes,
can I just comment real quickly?
certainly.
I wanted
Actually,
to
after it's been
reiterate what Mr. Powell said. I agree with everything he said.
Mr. Roman, after it's been seconded, you really can't comment.
Yes, yeah, you can.
Procedurally, well, I don't know.
Yes. That's what comments for.
Mike said I can.
Ask our attorney. That's when comments are meant for.
Head over there. So go ahead.
I just wanted to let the residents know, I totally understand those of you on fixed incomes, a special assessment can really put a dagger into your finances. And for those of you that are on fixed income that are part of this assessment, please call my office. I'm the township treasurer. I do have programs available through both the county and the state that can help you pay for these assessments. That's all I had,
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Rick.
We have motion, we have support, roll call vote, Mr. Lilly.
Scott Ruggles,
Yes.
Steve Powell,
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees,
Yes.
Liz Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roman,
Yes.
Lily votes yes, Mr. Kowal.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Okay, item 10B, resolution 20-038, resolution for 2021 Board of Trustee meetings. Meetings of the following dates: January 19th, February 16th, March 16th, April 20th, May 18th, June 15th, July 20th, August 17th, September 21st, October 9th, November 16th, and December 21. And these are all scheduled in the year 2021. Questions or comments from the board? Okay.
These are all, hang on, Rick. My parents just called, so I apologize. I want to make sure everything was okay. These are all second Tuesdays, correct?
Third Tuesday.
Or third Tuesday, I'm sorry, yeah. Okay.
That's correct. At this point in time, unbeknown to us by any potential gubernatorial imposition or change order, these would be the dates that we would normally do. So I am looking for a motion to move forward and approve. Mr. Ruggles.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make the motion to approve resolution 20-038, approving the meeting dates for 2021.
Support.
I have a motion for 20-038, support by Liz Smith. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
By Trustee Liz Smith. Roll call vote, please.
Wasn't doing very good. And,
Mike Powell,
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees,
Yeah, sorry, had to take an emergency phone call again, sorry, yes.
Scott Ruggles,
Yes.
Liz Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roman,
Yes.
Lily votes yes, Mr. Kowal.
Yes. Okay, item 10C, resolution 20-037 is a resolution to tentatively declaring its intention to establish a special assessment district to be known as the North Hulbert Avenue. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with it, North Hulbert is off on the north side of Elizabeth Lake, just south of Spraders a little bit. There's a little loop road in there over near the cemetery that there's been historic problems with septic. And this came before Aaron Potter and myself quite some time ago. And we had some conversation and input from the public, then it kind of died off. And now it has come back. So we are in the process of passing this resolution again to tentatively declare its intention to establish a special assessment district. Mr. Potter, do you have comment?
Oh, I think this is going to be Janine.
All right, nothing from your end. Janine, anything in your end?
The only thing I want to remind you of is that you may want to consider the financing for this. Not at this point, just think about it. It's not big enough to bond.
Correct. I do realize that, and that was a conversation that was had in the past. Mr. Lilly.
That was one of the questions I had, Rick, in the past, that we've never financed a project out of the Public Act 188. One question that the board's going to have to determine whether they want to or not. The other thing that may ease my mind in regards to that is in January on the other sewer project, we passed what we call a resolution declaring official intent to reimburse project expenditures. And I would request that the board consider both of those. If the board is willing to finance out of the general fund this particular project, this particular resolution will give the board an opportunity at a later date to possibly combine this issue with another bond issue and be eligible to be reimbursed for all of the expenses in regards to this project if so wishes to do. This will protect the board for expenses 60 days prior to the board approving this project and will last for a period up to 3 years for board opportunity to do that. I'm extremely, my vote balancing on paying this out of 188, but if the board wishes in the future to pass that resolution, I think it would give me a little more ease of mind to move this project forward.
I think that's a prudent move. We've used it in the past, and I think it's a proper improvement move to do at this time for this particular project. We will plan that. The difficulty is that this is a very low dollar amount when it comes to bonding, and the cost would be prohibitive to the individuals. We do have enough funds in the PA 188 to launch this. We also have a commitment of funds that the board previously authorized that is capable of doing that. And I believe in the interest of the groundwater protection and the public safety, health, and welfare of this community that we should move forward with this. And I also believe that we should have the resolution to reimburse for project expenditures as added into the minutes on this. And Mr. Powell, I know you're just chomping at the bit to pass something. Mr. Powell.
Yes, if you don't mind, I will make a motion, Mr. Supervisor.
Certainly.
Mr. Supervisor, I move the resolution declaring its intent to establish a special assessment district to be known as the North Hulbert Avenue Resolution number 20-037, subject to the inclusion of a whereas that the language is put in there to allow a payback to be made to the Act 188 funds if this project is combined with another special assessment district in the next 3 years.
A resolution to reimburse.
Resolution to reimburse, correct.
Thank you. I have motion. Looking for support.
Support.
I have support from Mr. Rugg. Roll call vote, please.
Hold on. Could I make one quick comment, Rick?
Yes.
Yeah, I would just like to say that I'm excited to be able to offer this opportunity to help these residents, especially with the overwhelming majority vote, 76% of those involved wanting to be part of it. I also think that the cost is, in the world of sewers and hookups and that type of thing, relatively small at $207,000. So I wouldn't have a problem funding it out of the PA 188 if we tried to wait to jump onto another project that's getting bonded. Who knows how long this could take. So just my opinion, so the board's aware.
Correct. As it is, I believe we will move forward with this, and we're using this reimbursement resolution as a backup plan, so to speak, in the event we have the opportunity to piggyback this to something else. Mr. Roman.
I also wanted to voice my support on this project for the use of PA 188 funds. It is an investment in ourselves, both helping out the water quality, but it's also a great investment. It's investing in ourselves at a time when interest rates are at an all-time low. So I totally support the use of the PA 188 fund.
Thank you, sir. Okay, any other comments? Liz Smith, please.
Thank you. I'll just be short. I also support this as well. I had the opportunity to speak to some residents on that street this summer, and I'm glad this is so supported by them because it's needed and requested. It's resident driven, and there wasn't quite the odor on the street. So we do need to move forward. Our residents are requesting us to do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, 76% is a pretty impressive number in my history and knowledge of this particular type of amenity that we're going to be providing. Mr. Ruggles? Mr. Ruggles? Okay, you made the resolution, correct?
No.
I made the resolution. He supported.
Pardon. Mr. Powell, you making the resolution? Mr. Ruggles, you're supporting?
That's right.
Okay, I beg your pardon. Okay, we have motion and support. Roll call vote, please.
Al
Mr. Lo-
Ruggles,
Yes.
Mike Powell,
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees,
Yes.
Ms. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roman.
Yes.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make my support for this project, but I also believe that resolution was very important for this board moving forward. It's going to give some time for the board to really see what effect connections and financing projects are going to have on the effects of Public Act 188. So I will support this, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Colwell?
I also support this and believe it is a very worthy project, and it is part of our member of the Groundwater Protection Committee. It is also an important factor in improving the quality of our water and groundwater. Mr. Lilly.
Rick, I'd also like to add that this resolution will most likely be on the next board agenda.
Thank you. Okay, so we're moving forward here. Okay, item motion carries. 10C, Resolution 20-037, resolution tentatively declaring its intent to establish a special assessment district to be known as Albert Avenue. Janine, you have anything to add?
No, I have nothing else.
Okay. Mr. Potter?
Nope, I have nothing else.
Okay, I would like to entertain a motion. Board members, Mr. Powell.
Am I a little confused? Didn't we just do 10C?
No, we did 10B. I beg your pardon. I am so terribly sorry. I've got my two notes laying over each other here. We are good. We are good to go. I beg your pardon. You are correct, Michael.
Not a problem.
I have notes laying over notes here. Okay, so we've established all that and we're moving forward. Again, that'll come forth at the final end of that will come forth in another meeting. Moving on to 11, new business. The Hulbert here is in many places. Request to approve a DLZ engineering services agreement is what I was going to say, and I got Hulbert Sanitary Extension Special Assessment District. Mr. Potter, anything on that?
Yes, so this is, once again, we find ourselves in the classic chicken and the egg scenario. We don't have a source of funding for engineering till the role is established for this SAD. So I'm going to ask the board to approve the attached DLZ engineering services proposal. All the numbers that you had before you on this resolution were preliminary estimates. I'd like to ask the board to approve the portions of the DLZ proposal dated November 5th, 2020, including design engineering services and geotechnical services in an amount not to exceed $21,025. And I would also ask the board to identify where we are going to pay for these services in the interim until we can roll these into the assessment. And yeah, so that's basically it.
And we've run into this scenario before, and in this particular case, seeing as we are using PA 188 and there is funding available, is my recommendation that we consider using the PA 188 monies for this particular purpose. It will be part of this and can be part of this in its entirety. We do not necessarily have, in this particular case, a mechanism, as I know that there has been a few mechanisms in the past that if something didn't pass, we could try to go back. It's, again, the chicken and the egg scenario, and it does make it difficult. But seeing as that we have 76%, we have a very serious commitment. Based on your current numbers, which is based on our most recent bid, I believe, with some generalities.
No, actually, those numbers are, Mike and I put that estimate together about 2 years ago.
Okay.
So we feel like those numbers are going to come down quite a bit. That we've got an updated construction standard that we'd like to try to get permitted again on this project. And we did receive some good bids for the Bogey Lake Road project. So.
Okay, very good.
Down.
And will hopefully result in some cost savings as it did on Pinecrest.
Correct.
Mr. Roman.
Thanks, Rick. I just wanted to get council's opinion on this money. If there was something that we could have done, that we should have done, that if this district does not move forward, if we could have gotten reimbursed somehow for these fees. Lisa, you are muted.
I didn't know I was supposed to be talking. We've had conversations about this before, Mike, when it came to voluntary SADs, and we did have private agreements that required the individuals to be liable for the expenses in the event the project doesn't go through. We can't do that by way of an SAD because there's no benefit.
Okay, so it is what it is what I'm hearing. Thanks, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Mr. Potter.
Yeah, Mike, one thing that I spoke with some other board members about recently about this, there's benefit to the township, in my opinion, to have this engineering done, whether we move this forward now or whether this gets approved at some later date. I just feel there's a lot of benefit for us as a township, especially for DPS, to have this engineering and design work done now. So, I feel like the sewer major maintenance, like in the water department, I have a line item that I budget for engineering services. We don't have that on the sanitary side, but I feel like we have the funding in there from major maintenance to cover the cost of some of this engineering if need be in the short term. In worst case scenario, if the SAD doesn't go forward, like I said, I still feel like there's benefit to the township to have this engineering.
Engineering, go away.
Thanks for that comment, Aaron. I appreciate it.
The math is the math. It won't change. So we're pretty good there. Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, seeing none, looking for a motion to move this along. Mr. Powell.
Certainly, Mr. Supervisor. I move to approve the proposed DLZ contract with White Lake Township for the engineering services and geotechnical services, not to exceed $21,025 as presented.
And paid for out of PA 188.
And paid for out of PA 188. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion. Looking for support.
Real quick, if you may.
One second, Aaron. Where'd the support come from?
Right here, Mr. Cole.
Okay. We have motion support. Mr. Potter, before we vote.
I would like to ask Mr. Powell to amend his motion to also authorize Township Supervisor Rick Kowal to execute all documents associated with the agreement.
I so modify my motion.
The support is amended.
Motion and support are both amended. Thank you, gentlemen, for that cooperation.
For discussion?
Mr. Powell.
Thank you. And I totally agree with Aaron, and the board knows, my colleagues know that it's very important to me to have sanitary sewers extended anytime we can in White Lake Township. And as Aaron so well pointed out, the engineering is not going to change. If these plans have to sit on the shelf for 2, 3, 5, 10 years, it is what it is, and they will. This engineering will be used. So eventually, we will be paid back for it.
It has a shelf life.
It does not have a shelf life.
No, I mean it does not have a shelf. It has a long shelf life.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
We're both saying the same thing.
Yes.
It's very long shelf life.
Yes.
One thing about math, it generally doesn't go bad.
Correct.
Okay, that being said, motion support, roll call vote, please.
Ruggles,
Yes.
Mike Powell,
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees,
Yes.
Liz Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roman,
Yes.
Mr. Lilly votes yes, Mr. Kowal.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries. 11B, request to approve DLZ engineering service proposal for Bogey Lake Sanitary Special Assessment District. Now that we've moved that along. Mr. Potter, do you have anything to add?
Nope, this one's pretty straightforward. The board already approved a portion of this. We would like to ask the board now that the role has been confirmed, to approve the remainder of this for construction engineering services, contract administration, and construction staking in an amount not to exceed $40,640, contingent on the final confirmation of the assessment role in the sale of the bond. I also request that the board authorize you, Mr. Supervisor, to again execute all the documents associated with this agreement.
Thank you. Okay, motion from the board. Mr. Ruggles. Care to make a
Sure, Mr. Supervisor. Yeah, make a motion to approve the DLZ proposal for construction engineering services, construction staking regarding the Bogey Lake North Sanitary SAD, an amount not to exceed $40,640. And also that the Board of Trustees authorizes Mr. Supervisor Rick Kowal to execute all associated documents with this agreement.
We have motion looking for support.
Support, Mike Powell.
I have support from Mr. Mike Powell. Roll call vote.
Discussion, please.
Yes, Mr. Powell.
If I could ask our engineer a question. Michael, is this a lump sum or is this an hourly contract?
No, this is a hourly not to exceed price, Mr. Powell.
All right, and thank you. And I forgot to mention to the board that Mr. Lufkin and I talked earlier today, and we talked about the possibility of ways that DLZ might be able to control and limit some of the time spent on these projects. And I have all the confidence that DLZ will in fact do their best to actually reduce this price. So thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you. They've been extremely cooperative and very much a team player over many, many projects.
Yes.
Especially Mr. Mike Lufkin. Okay.
Yes.
So contrary to what anybody might say about him. Okay. All right. We have motion. We have support. Where were we? We have a roll call vote.
Yep.
Andrea,
Yes.
Liz Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Roman,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggles,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Lilly votes yes, Mr. Kowal.
Yes. Now comes the big nut to crack. Request to award the construction bid for Bogey Lake North Sanitary Special Assessment District. Now, I found this very interesting. I've been at different bidding processes over the years, and I found it very interesting that we had the spread and then we had close knit numbers. So this job went anywhere from $699,000 down to the $299,865, which is the suggested bid award to Superior Excavating. And this bid was a qualifying bid and was reviewed by DLZ and lead engineer, Mr. Mike Lufkin. And Mr. Potter and Mr. Lufkin, are you both satisfied and find this a satisfactory bid?
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Supervisor, and we did some research on Superior Excavating. Certainly, I've worked with them before, and they're a reputable contractor. They do good work. I had never worked with them on a directional drill job, so I wanted to follow that up. Reached out to several references, and all of them came back very positive. The overwhelming comment was they do a good job of getting into a job site, getting the work done, and getting the heck out of there. So that bodes well for controlling our costs too, because it limits our inspection time and follow up and chasing them to finish a project. So hopefully that'll be the case, but everything checked out well on our end.
Very good. Okay, any questions from the board? Mr. Roman?
Hey, Mike, I'm assuming the board approves this. Do you have a timeline as far as construction start and finish?
So we do have a period in the contract documents, and I don't remember that off the top of my head. I can look it up in a minute here, but I think we gave them
I think it's 100 days, if I remember correctly.
180 days. That sounds about right. I was going to say about 4 months to complete. Before they're going to be able to start, we do have to complete the SAD process. So I did put a 120-day bid hold period in. That should give us enough time to complete the SAD process and get everything underway. Probably in January, I think we're talking about, Aaron.
Yes, we expect roughly a month for the appeals. January 6th, the RFP for the sale of the bond. February 10th, we expect delivery of the bond. Speaking with the bonding agent, he expects that we will be able to issue notice to proceed January 21st.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, any other questions? Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion here. Mr. Powell. Mr. Powell.
I guess I did have one comment and then I will lead into a motion. I have personal experience with Superior as well. They are a very good company and I was absolutely pleased with the bidding. If we hadn't have made some modifications that the DPS has done to our construction drawings, this number would be substantially higher. So I want to thank the DPS for those modifications. That being said, Mr. Supervisor, I move to have the board award the project to Superior Excavating in the amount not to exceed $329,851, which includes a 10% contingency for the project. This award is to be contingent upon the confirmation of the assessment roll, special assessment roll, and the sale of the bonds. I move that the board gives Supervisor Kowal the ability to execute the documents associated with this project.
I have a motion looking for support.
Support.
Support from Liz Smith, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Trustee Smith. I have motion support. Roll call vote, please.
Liz Smith,
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees,
Yes.
Mike Powell,
Yes.
Mr. Ruggles,
Yes.
Lily votes yes. Mr. Roman,
Yes.
Mr. Kowal.
Yes, thank you. So many engineering things, they kind of stack up like cordwood here. This is a busy night for the water, the DPS and water. So I certainly appreciate it. Next item is item 11D, which is a kind of a walk-on. And I apologize to my board members for some of those in-house that were not able to get this information. It all kind of came down suddenly as Sunday night, the governor put out some orders, and by the time we had an opportunity to start to do response with the township labor attorney and try to see where we're going to be in the future because of the COVID situation, the township needs to put itself in a position of preparedness to work remotely. Currently, we are unable to do that for several people because they have the inability to tie into our system, our computer system here. So it has come to my attention through several members, several department heads, that we do need a total combination of 23 computers to satisfy the needs for all individuals, and also allowing the trustees to have the ability to have a laptop computer that would tie into the system. Now, mind you, we have received a significant amount of federal COVID money. These monies are meant for this type of implementation of technology to help us move forward. We have received just recently a check from Oakland County in excess of $500,000 and from the state of Michigan in excess of $500,000. I'm not saying just because we have the money, But I am saying because we need the technology to be in place and do not have it. Many individuals that work here do not or will not use their own home computer for township work. They are not obligated to do so. Therefore, in the interest of moving the township forward and preparing it, I'm looking at technology, and the budget that we have come up with would be around roughly $30,000, which should be adequate to cover all the expenditures. I believe we can do it for less. Time is of the essence. As of Wednesday, tomorrow morning, we're going to see some changes. And unfortunately, there are echoes that there may be potentially more changes down the line. And I do not want to put the level of service at jeopardy for this township to its public. So any questions from the board? Mr. Roman.
I just want to reiterate to the board that I agree with what Rick is saying. We actually, the check we just got from Oakland County was in excess of $600,000. And that's what this money is for. That's what it is, and its intended use is. There is, as policy stands right now, spending COVID money to get reimbursed. We want to spend that money before year end. And so now is the time that we want to get these laptops. And gosh, just wanted to let the board know that that's what that money is out for. That money is out there for this type of expenditure.
Thank you, Mr. Roman. Andrea Voorhees.
This is a no-brainer in my opinion. Working for a nonprofit, we're kind of forced to use our own personal computers for our work, but I use my own personal computer because I'd rather be safe working at home than going into the office where it's less safe. So absolutely, my company, my full-time job is better because we have, computers that we can use at home. So absolutely, Rick, we need to move forward with this.
Thank you. We have had some research done through Trish and Dawn, and they have recommended this particular budget because there is a wide variety of apparatus that's available. We've looked through CDWG, which is our government vendor, and Dawn in accounting has been extremely helpful, and we're narrowing it down. I believe we can do it for under that budget amount, but that is the amount that internally here we have discussed and felt that would be adequate to cover the needs for all of the departments in the list that we have, including all of the trustees, so that they could tap directly into our system for Zoom meetings and their emails and things of nature, transmittals of sort. Liz, I'm sorry, go ahead. I saw your hand.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I agree. And I just wanted to add, as our township, just, for the residents, just to keep in mind, as our township is moving forward to our new website, there's a lot of features that will be offered to our staff and the township board. So working from home and having access to technology, not everybody has a computer at home, and we have to keep that in mind always, or they don't have, up to speed technology. So as our township is moving forward with our new website, there is going to be that back office and a way, very proficient and effective way for our staff to communicate and work from home, and our trustees to work from home. And as the 4 trustees, our system is set up differently, where we don't have the same capabilities as the in-house elected. So this would allow us to have access to the system and be more efficient in our work as well. So I just want to add that, keep in mind that we are moving forward in the right direction, the technology and our website's coming forward, and this would help all the way around. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Rick, I have one more question.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Andrea? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I said I have one more question.
Yeah.
I know it's a technology challenge in regards to computers. Is that not the case? Would there be a big lag between order time and delivery time?
Well, if we have actually found a couple of vendors that actually have enough to get us what we need. Part of the problem was in the search that we've done in the last 24 hours, multiple vendors did not have the quantity. We do have a couple that have it, and we have tentative holds on them right now, and this is why time is of the essence.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Mr. Powell.
I have a couple questions. We've just gone through the last couple of years of buying 20 or 30 computers already. What does the township expect to do with those computers that will now become obsolete and they're relatively new?
Some of those computers are not computers. Some of them are small. I call them enhanced iPads. I'm not a computer expert. We've had some difficulties with some of those. Our system and our processing system is getting more and more sophisticated. We have had upgrades with our website. We have upgrades with our server. Like anything else, this stuff is like it goes out of date in short order.
Rick, most of the computers were desktops.
Most of the computers are desktops. Thank you. And the ones that we had for the planning department aren't worth a damn. Okay. Because they seize up on you and do all kinds of other stuff. And don't get me going there, because I wasn't part of that purchasing thing. Because if I was, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. Okay.
Okay, along with that same line, then it's going to be extremely critical that we not necessarily just go for price, because speed of the processor, the quality of the video and the microphone are going to be extremely critical.
Exactly. And that's why I have the right people on the job.
And the next question I have, how is the township going to control personal use? If everyone has a laptop, they're going to be able to use it for whatever they want, personal or township. And when it breaks, when they're on it because of their own personal, or they're carried it to the store or something like that, I think something has to be worked into that as well. And then
Michael, we are in the process, as with our new HR person, we are in the process of developing some procedures and policies, and computer use will be one of those.
So then the next step is, how is the township going to deal with those employees that have a brand new computer but don't have an internet fast enough to be able to service it? We're not going to step up and pay their internet, are we?
That's not my intention at this time, but it doesn't mean that they can't pull up in the parking lot here and tie into the township. Doesn't mean they can't go near the library and tie into the township. Doesn't mean they can't go into the McDonald's parking lot and tie into their internet. Tim Horton internet. I mean, there are a lot of places around. There's no reason anymore that a person can't get tied into some Wi-Fi system somewhere.
So is this the intent of you, Mr. Supervisor, to not allow a township employee to plead the fact that they don't have to come in, they don't have to do anything, they can sit home and not do their job if they have a computer?
No, that is not the case.
Okay. What's not the case? I'm sorry.
We're not. This is all about working for the township. These are here as backup in the event, as it is looking like we will be going more remote. We have jobs, we have things that need to get done. If we don't have the capability, it's going to stall things, and I don't want to stall our residents.
So the last time we were put on hold, or we had a stop work and everybody had to stay home, it's my understanding that we had people sitting home, not able to do their work and not doing their office work. And are you telling me that these computers now are going to eliminate that excuse from them?
This will allow persons who are in position that need to be on staff and available, will allow them to function. That is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Mike Powell, not everyone can work from home. My department, for one, we're only ordering one laptop. And that's basically for me. I can do a lot of my work from home, but I still need someone in the office. And for that reason, we're only purchasing one for the treasurer's department.
There are a number of them out there. If you care to find out who, the where, the what, the when, why, Michael, please contact Trish.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? I can't see everybody. Okay. Nope. Looking for a motion. Elizabeth?
Liz, you're muted.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, make a motion.
Sure. Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchases. I believe you said up to $30,000. Is that correct? To purchase laptops for township employees.
For remote purposes.
For remote purposes.
Thank you. I have a motion. Looking for support. Mr. Ruggles, you look like you want to support.
Support.
Ruggles is supporting. Roll call vote, please.
Liz Smith,
Yes.
Andrea Voorhees,
Yes.
Scott Ruggles,
Yes.
I didn't hear it. Oh, it's yes.
and Mr. Roman.
Yes.
Mr. Lilly votes yes. Mr. Colwell.
Yes. You know, Mike, there might be something to that. Terry was our hard of hearing person. You're going to be the next hard of hearing person.
Yes, that's exactly right. I wonder why. Yes.
Get you some batteries. We'll get you.
Yeah. Alma, check your batteries. That's right.
Right. Thank you, board members. It's not something that I take lightly, but in light of what's going on and where we are and where things are changing, it will allow us to be more responsive to the needs of the community. And there will be other purposes for these computers internally as need be. And they will not go to for naught. Okay.
Mr. Supervisor, I just want to say thank you. We need to support our staff and keep them safe and comfortable. For those that want to work from home and feel safe working from home, we need to support them in that. And we also need to continue to best serve our residents. And this, I hope, will allow us to do so. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that. Okay, moving on to the next item. Trustee comments. Well, this is going to be.
Were we not going to discuss 12A? I thought it was just going to discuss, or did we actually cancel?
Off the agenda.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, it was removed from the agenda at the opening of the meeting. I don't know if you heard that or not, but that's okay. That's all right. So anyways, we could have a lot of comment here. And, I guess I'm going to address part of my comment towards the guy in the middle of my screen right now with the palm tree and the coconuts in the background. That would be Terry. So Terry, before I go into my shtick, I'm going to pass off to a few of my fellow trustees and let them say what they want to say. Yes, Mr. Lilly.
Yeah, before you get me going, thank you guys for your support, your patience, your friendship. I will miss you.
And we will miss you, I guarantee. So, Mr. Roman.
I get to go first? Okay, thanks. Wow, Terry, 8 years. It has been an honor working with you for the last 8 years, Terry. And I wish both you and Donna a happy retirement. However, I do have to warn Donna. I know you can't wait to spend 7 days a week, 24 hours with Terry. But I got to tell you, he may try your patience at times, Donna. And I do have a fix and some advice for you. Donuts work great. Whenever you're ready to throw that towel in, Donna, donuts and more donuts. Terry, seriously, best wishes. You are always welcome at the Township Hall. And if it's good with the rest of the board, we need to get a nice photo with Terry in the boardroom.
Amen. Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Mike.
Andrea.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say I apologize for walking out. When my 85-year-old mom calls, I pretty much answer the phone. Bob took care of it. So thank you. I apologize for that. But Terry, you should have received a personal card from me telling you my thoughts, because I felt like I needed to tell you them in person, privately, and I don't plan to share those thoughts. But I still have a few comments. I just want to say not too many people can say they have had the privilege of working with 2 generations of the Voorhees family. My dad with his 48 years of service and myself with 12. Thank you for your knowledge and service. And now you have time to volunteer with Meals on Wheels and the Historical Society. So on behalf of my parents, Ron and Mary, Bob and myself, we thank you. It is not goodbye, Terry. It is see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Liz.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I do have a couple other things before I send my wishes to Terry. Terry asked us to go easy on him, so I'm going to share in the thoughts with Andrea that I will share a lot of my sentiments with Terry privately, and I will also, of course, share some publicly this evening. I want to first start by thanking our residents for re-electing our board, and it's an honor to serve and represent you, and we are looking forward to working together for the next 4 years. I'd like to clarify some just information about our fire department that was buzzing around the community. We did let go some on-call fire department, but it was not a board decision. I just want to clarify that, and that was due to union contracts that were non-conforming to union contracts. I would like to thank Post 4156 for having a wonderful Veterans Day ceremony. I did want to mention that they have canceled their turkey, their Veterans Turkey Thanksgiving dinner. Myself and many parents from English Oaks Montessori normally cook the turkeys along with the auxiliary, and that is canceled due to COVID this year. Beginning November 16th, the library returned to stage 2, which is curbside delivery only, online resources, and virtual programming. The White Lake Township tree lighting is also unfortunately canceled this year due to COVID restrictions, but we're going to do our best to still spread some holiday cheer in the township. I am looking forward to be sworn in with the future board on November 20th and welcoming our new board member. And Terry, it has truly been an honor and a privilege. You have been a tremendous support and mentor. I was a new member 4 years ago, and I've known you my entire life, so I felt so comfortable speaking with you, and you were always right there to guide me, to give me all the history, patiently answer all my questions. Right away as a board member, you gave me binders full of information to share with me, and you were such a great support and mentor to me, and I want to thank you for that. We've spent a lot of time talking about all kinds of things, and we're like-minded on many things, and I want to thank you sincerely for the time that you have spent with me talking over the past and future of this township. You are an incredible asset to White Lake Township. Your service and dedication has been unparalleled. And our township is truly better for your dedication and service. It certainly isn't goodbye. I've teased you for many days now that I'm going to still call you and talk to you and ask you questions and your advice as we continue to serve our residents. And I really hope that this board will continue to include Mr. Lilly in future projects as the Civic Center and Stanley Park. His wisdom and knowledge is, like I said, unmatched, and he has a vision for this community, as we all do, Sharon, and he deserves to be a part of that. So thank you, Terry, so much for all you've done, and I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your working relationship with me, and I appreciate your service to our residents. And like I said, I know you asked us to go easy, so I'll reserve the rest of my sentimental comments for you in person. So thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you, Liz. Okay, Mr. Powell.
Well, I'm going to follow up on what Liz, how Liz ended it. And I haven't known Terry all my life, but I certainly have known him and worked with him and around him for 50 years anyway. And Terry, you've always been an incredible constant, and you've voted your conscience in every single one of your votes. And I appreciate you, and I appreciate that. And not only are we not going to let you go, but you're not going to be, you haven't heard the end of it from me either. So I know where you live. I got your phone number, and I will be bugging you periodically. And so thank you for that. And now, unfortunately, Mr. Colwell is probably the oldest one on the board now. So the senior goes to him. And that being said, I wanted to thank my board as well for the yes votes on the sanitary sewers. And eventually I'll be making some presentations to you to approve even more projects, or at least board initiate additional projects and then have it approved by the residents. And so there are ways that we can do both of those to enhance the quality and the environment here in White Lake Township. There's just one thing that I ask of the administration, Mr. Supervisor. In reading the minutes of last month, there was a statement by our attorney that the township board really had not been aware of some of the items going on, specifically to the Brendel site, but to other projects as well, in that you as staff people hear about projects every day and sometimes for years. And we at the board never hear about that whatsoever. And then Ms. Hamami said that rarely are things like that brought to the board until there's a need for board action. But the problem is that doesn't inform us as to what's going on. And so when we get questioned on things, we don't know how to answer. And in the minutes last month, right after Lisa had said that, you summarized that the board looks terrible when we don't take action on things, and specifically on that. But if we haven't heard anything, it is improper to blame the board, but in actuality, the public does. And so when we don't hear things, it's hard for us to give input. It's hard for us to understand what's going on. And then when it's brought for the first time to the board, we're kind of caught a little cold on that. And so I ask, and really there's no reason why we can't be brought up to date every month on what's going on in the township since we met last. So I would appreciate that, Mr. Supervisor, and thank you.
Hey, Michael, and you know I call you multiple times. So
you do, and I thank you for that.
I would also second that, Mr. Powell, and include that in my trustee comments, that I would very much like and appreciate more communication. Thank you.
Mr. Powell knows for a fact that I call him.
You do, and I appreciate that.
So you can't say you're not communicated with. Okay, moving right along. Let's see, who do we have here? Who's left on the list?
I think just me.
I don't see in my screen. You don't exist.
Oh.
Mr. Ruggles.
Okay, thanks. Well, I was elected to this board about 8 years ago, and prior to my to that election, I got a call from Terry, who I had never met before, but there was a document at the county that I had failed to file. So Terry called to make sure that I took care of that. Yes. And that I was in good standing down there. Now, this is somebody that I had never met, but he took the time out of his day to make sure that that was straight for me. And that's something that kind of always stuck with me, but that's the kind of person that Terry's been to me since I've been on this board. He's what I would call a company man. You know, he's got the township's interests first and foremost. And when you get a guy like that, he brings a lot of intangibles to the table, stuff that you can't write down on paper, stuff that you can't add up. And it's a shame that it won't be here. But it was a pleasure to be around. Sorry. I'm appreciative that he was able to sit next to me for 8 years, and I'm sure I'll see you around town. But thanks, Terry.
Very good.
That's all I got for now.
Thank you. Well, Terry, you know, I've been dealing with Terry probably on a one-on-one basis where I spent more time talking to him than I did prior to just knowing him casually for probably, I'm about 12, 13 years now. I've been 4 years as supervisor, 4 years as a trustee, and years on top of that before involved with zoning board of appeals, and then building some things around here with my brother when Terry was on his construction campaign. There's a lot of handwork around here from myself, my brother, and my father. And I know that we all things around here in our family. I never felt that I would end up being the leader of this. But Terry stands for something. The T stands for tenacious. When he gets his horns locked in on something, he goes for it. He goes after it, and he makes it work. The E is for energy. The guy has got like the Energizer rabbit. I will tell you that our clerk-elect, Mr. Noble, was like, my God, this guy can move around. He moves around like, you know, he ran me ragged election day, you know, and he got a taste of what's going on. The R is for resourceful. You're resourceful and you find ways to get what information we need and what this township has needed over the years, whether it's cleaning out a toilet, which incidentally, I understand that, and doing things that you need to, you know, putting a drop ceiling in a room at 10 o'clock at night up on a step ladder. And the other R is for being ready to tackle any task that came before you. And, you know, now you can do the Y, which is you can yawn and relax, okay? And just take it easy and enjoy yourself. But I know that you'll still be involved in the community. And I look forward to working with you and continue our relationship as we go forward with the development of the Civic Center area. And you and I will definitely be working together on some committees and different things that are happening. So with that, I say, Terry, my hat's off. I stand up to you. And I say thank you very much for all your help and leadership that you've given us. And with that, Mr. Lee, have anything else you'd like to add before I adjourn? No, I guess not. Okay. With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting. I'm looking for support.
Terry Lilly.
I support Mr. Lilly. Roll call vote.
Voice. Andrea. Beth.
Yes.
Mike Powell.
Yes.
Scott Ruggles.
Yes.
Mike Roman.
Yes.
Mr. Lilly.
Yes.
Go well.
Yes. Good night.